Hey everyone, it's Brad Peterson. I am Senior Vice President with the Music and Entertainment Division for Regions Bank here in Nashville. I am here today with a longtime friend and colleague, Mr. John Ozier. Thanks for being here. Thanks for doing this with me. I appreciate you doing it.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So I know it, but tell everyone your title and role with your company.
I am currently the Executive Vice President of Creative at Reservoir Media, run our Nashville office, have been there since April 1st, 2019.
So, John, in the business today, I'd love to get your take on this. We know that the recent trends have certainly been streaming and how that's evolved, how that's sort of changed the business in terms of distribution models. And then, things like we talked earlier about the capital that's come into the business, and that's prompted a lot of catalog sales for writers and for artists. So I would think those are two of the big things driving the business today. Tell me what you think, and then tell me how you think those things are impacting the business.
Yeah, it's a really good question. Well, first off, streaming has transformed the business. I think more people are subscribing to streaming services and more people are consuming more music than ever. I think we need to fix how songwriters get paid because songwriters are getting paid at a fraction, and that's some of the work we're doing at the AIMP. David Israelite is leading that from the NMPA standpoint to where songwriters do need to get paid fairly. However, because of streaming, everyone's seeing so much industry growth that's really what's attracted all the catalog sales between low interest rates.
Yeah, true.
And then writers talk and they hear what multiple writer A got and writer B wants that multiple. And there's a lot of factors to it. I mean, people are worried that capital gains tax rate may go up, which has triggered a lot of people who are aging artists. I mean, if you look at Bob Dylan and Neil Young, all the big headline catalog sales, they're thinking about it as estate planning. And so now is the time for those acquisitions to happen. But I think a lot of it has been driven by streaming. And then also I think the financial world has finally understood that music copyrights are an asset class. It's uncorrelated to the markets. It is about as consistent as you can get on older copyrights. Because typically hit songs do this, they peak, they're going to decay, and then they level out. But when streaming kicked in, they started growing like that. And I think that's what's triggered the frenzy of catalog sales.
So there you go, folks. So John just described why I do what I do, how we provide financing into that space, into music publishing. And that's exactly what we've seen too, is more capital coming in, and then just the valuations and the value of copyrights has increased so much. It's allowed us to be able to deploy a lot of financial backing from senior lending institutions, from banks into the business, and hopefully help companies like Reservoir and other companies we work with to go acquire those Travis Tritt catalogs and the other ones that have been so kind of high focus. That's exactly why we're able to do what we're doing is all those factors. So thank you. That's current things we want to get everyone's take on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think last year $5 billion worth of catalog deals traded hands, which is just remarkable.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's any end in sight. In fact, there's a Music Business Worldwide podcast that came out yesterday saying 2022 could be the year of country catalog sales.
Yeah.
Which may mean you're going to have a really busy year.
I know, and I've seen more interest in that.
Yeah.
I've seen more players come to me wanting to talk about their plans to acquire country catalogs.
And a lot of the whole podcast is about the growth of country music and the growth of streaming and how country listeners were always kind of late to adapt to streaming.
Yeah.
But now they're catching up and it's growing at a pretty rapid pace. So I think there's going to be a lot of M&A activity out of Nashville. So we're going to be busy.
Yeah, no, I see a lot of that too. And it's always, for us, it's always been a little bit different animal because as we know, country music is still fairly reliant on terrestrial radio, more than other genres, arguably, for sure. And so that can just track a little differently in terms of, you mentioned the rise, the decay, and then the steady state.
Right.
The radio world affects that quite a bit. But as it's adopted more streaming.
That's exactly right.
It's more predictable, probably we'd say, and then able for us to do more in that space. So it's a great timing for the capital investment guys out there to come look at country copyright assets.
That's right.
And for us to be able to be involved in that. John, thank you. I really appreciate you doing this and taking some time. I know you got a lot going on these days, and so thanks for coming in and chatting with us and talking about some of this stuff.
Yeah, well, thank you and Regions for all your support of the AIMP and what you do with Reservoir. It's been awesome.
Yeah, it's been really good. I appreciate it.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.